My party is incredibly unbalanced right now because I'm playing a glass cannon mage.
No, banana one's the worst one.
You are motherfucker.
What?
Now I'm gonna have to do that for 21 hours with her in a cage in my backseat.
All right, so in this episode, we're gonna drop some sick endgame spoilers.
Cool.
Has anyone ever told you that's the most obnoxious thing?
I mean, I wholesale ripped it from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I
So
was saying it's endearing when Jake Peralta does it, but not when you do it. So here's a hot take for you.
Ooh, okay.
So as you all know, spoilers are a thing that can ruin things for you, right?
Oh, are we talking spoilers?
Indeed.
I actually that was gonna be one of my topics. So please continue.
So yesterday, my friend was like, "Hey, I want to go see Endgame," and I was like, "All right." I was like, "I'm gonna ask questions. Just tell me what happens, and then spoil everything for me." How do you feel about that?
I mean, if that is how you want to experience the movie, go for it.
Well, he's not gonna
Alright.
experience the movie
I'm
anyway,
not gonna
though.
watch the movie,
Oh,
but
then
I just
that's
figured
fine.
I wanted to get spoiled on my terms rather than have it spoiled for me by some asshole.
I can respect that, honestly.
No, yeah, that's fine. I did the same thing with stuff like Breaking Bad back when that was a huge thing. But I actually wanted one of that segue. Well, hold on. Before I say anything,
Spoiler alert:
hey guys,
Walter White gets cancer.
welcome back to Off the Air. I'm Dan,
Oh, okay. That's what we're gonna do. Hey, what's up? I'm Noah.
and that's Jackson over there, who never says
yeah.
his name and always comes in with a bit instead.
At least we always know who Jackson is.
It's on brand, honestly. Okay, now what I was gonna say was, I wanted to just like real quick get you guys' read on like this, because we're in kind of a massive spoiler like haven right now, because we've got Game of Thrones going on, and now we Endgame just dropped this weekend, and I feel like people are losing their goddamn shit. Is it fair to say that?
Because everyone's out here spoiling and not caring.
Here's the thing. I have not seen a single spoiler. I've seen 1,000 people complain about them.
I've seen so many people spoil Game of Thrones. I haven't seen anyone spoil Endgame yet.
I mean,
The people spoiling Game of Thrones were like... Go ahead.
Not saying I'm a Game of Thrones expert, but like it's 2 episodes into the season and nothing spoiler has happened unless they told you like the ending of last season.
Mm-hmm. That's
like, people are hanging out. You're like, oh no, they said they were gonna do that last season. You're telling me they attempted to do that? Crazy. I don't know. I feel like there's not enough to spoil yet. Now there will be in like 2 weeks for sure. And apparently this Sunday, that's today, is gonna be like the longest, I don't know, like battle sequence in film history. Is what they're saying.
Sexy.
Like I have heard that. Yeah,
it's apparently longer than like the Mines of Moria and any scene from like a Lord of the Rings movie or any other battle sequence that exists in film, to my knowledge, or at least maybe they're using a certain category of like only released like box office breaking kind of stuff.
I'm assuming they mean like in medieval warfare style, because like I don't feel like there's got to be some like World War II movie or something that like the entire movie is just one long battle sequence. There has to be.
Not really, though.
I don't know if there is. And this, apparently, the entire episode, it's got to be just fighting. Because, like, the Siege of the Mines of Moria in the first Lord of the Rings, I think, currently holds the record, and it's, like, 50 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
And then this episode's only, like, an hour long,
So you only got 10 more minutes, but hey, those extra 10 minutes mean a lot.
All right, guys, it's going to start up there. All right, guys, here they come. And then, like, the episode ends, and they're like, all right, guys, that was it. That better be what happens.
That was it. They came.
Nice. Nice.
Got it.
Game of Bones.
Ooh, I've seen that porno. I mean, what?
Yeah, well, that's weird.
But yeah, no,
porno. There's probably like 40 of those.
There's got to be so many. So many. No, well, no. I think it's
seasons.
like I feel like the culture right now, like this weird like no spoils subculture that's going on right now, is like a relatively recent thing. Like I don't remember it being a thing like 5 or 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Not nearly to the extent.
You know when it really kicked in? It kicked in a lot when the new Star Wars came out. Mostly,
yes, that one did get spoiled for me.
It did not for me. I saw spoilers. Episode 7 literally was spoiled the day that I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what one is episode 7 or what happens.
It doesn't for you. It doesn't matter. It's okay.
Does it have Adam Driver in it?
Yeah.
Yep. All 3.
So there was 6 before they made new ones, right? No spin-offs up until then.
No spin-offs up until then. Aside from the TV show.
Yeah,
TV show,
I do not give a shit about the Clone Wars television show.
It is a phenomenal show.
I don't want to talk about low polygon Obi-Wan up in this bitch.
I mean,
Nintendo 64 looking ass Anakin.
Disagree, but that's fine.
You can say the show is good, but they do have a pretty low polygon count.
I mean, it's a stylistic choice.
That's fine. You can say you like it, but they do have a pretty low polygon count.
It's like saying Undertale has a low polygon count. Like
it does. Well, actually, I don't think Undertale uses polygons. It's
an arbitrary distinction because it means nothing in the context of this is a stylistic choice.
Oh, I didn't say it made anything bad. I just said low polygon looking ass. It was like a roast.
The implication of a roast is that it's a negative trait.
I don't know. Sometimes roasts are like lighthearted for fun.
Yeah, but it's still usually
Nintendo
like
64 looking ass.
I feel like
have I directly offended your heart by saying
not really? It's more just
64?
like it's more of like I don't know. I find it amusing on some level because I could be like, yes, it is this and this and this, and this is when things came out and like all that, and like I get that that's just me being a fucking nerd. But then Jackson comes and is like, yeah, but like fuck it, and it is funny to me.
Well, I mean, but usually when things are funny to me, I'm like, that was cool. And then, like, maybe I'll make another joke or keep going. But I feel like this was just like a very weird little moment.
Not funny, haha. Funny, huh? You know? You understand.
I don't really know.
I understand. I just, like, feel like it was a weird point to press.
That I will agree with. It was definitely a weird hill to die on for me. It's one of my weird hills.
Cousin.
You've died on a lot of weird hills, though, to be fair.
Dying on weird hills is actually my aesthetic.
Tell it to the Confederate Army. Am I right?
Death on Weird Hills is definitely the name of something. I don't know yet.
It's the name of my biography about General Pickett. Civil War, guys.
Yeah, I figured because you mentioned from context clues. I figured that part out, but it was just a really really specific. God damn it, Noah, specific reference. But yeah, I find it really interesting because, like, for example, like I know what happens at the very. I feel like spoilers are weird because, like, you can know, like, I still don't want to be spoiled on something, but for a lot of things, you can know that a thing happens and it doesn't necessarily take away from the story. It's like I know what happens at the end of Breaking Bad, right? I know how that series ends, but like you got
for something like that, it's the journey, not the destination.
Exactly. Even Endgame, I feel like is going to be kind of just I want to see this story wrap up, and like I do care what happens, and I don't really want somebody to tell me, but at the same time, like, yeah,
I don't know. I actually was just telling Jackson, no spoilers. I won't spoil anything, but
I appreciate that.
I just got back from Endgame about 40 minutes ago, something like that, and I really I'm not sure how I'm feeling. I can't say that I'm like happy per se with how it ended.
But it did end.
Game.
And I guess that really is about all I could ask for,
That's Jackson's Christmas wish.
It didn't end, though. That's the problem. It's the end of stage 3, though. Although I genuinely think with, like, moving forward, they may stop making as much money. I think there's a pretty good chance they stop making as much money.
Oh, definitely.
Which means they'll probably stop making them before too long, even though they've already got them filmed and produced and ready to release up until like 2025. But I
don't know, man. I feel like this is just a new thing. Like I feel like maybe it'll end on the big screen, but then it'll start stuff will move. Like we've already got like half a dozen TV shows moving to the small screen.
Do we?
Yeah, we've got Loki, we've got Hawkeye, or no, not Hawkeye, Vision and Wanda. We've got
Wanda,
Scarlet Witch.
Okay.
There's another one. Hawkeye, I think, maybe has one. I don't remember. But there's like 3 or 4 of them already like confirmed for Disney's new platform.
That's right, because they have their own streaming service now.
So they can make mad bank on that as well as all the other ways.
I just feel like people gotta get burnt out on it. But maybe I'm wrong. I've been burnt out on it for like 10 years. So maybe I'm in the wrong here.
I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things that like you were never interested in it that bad in the first place. Like from everything I've heard from you, it sounds like you were just never super into it in the first place, and that's totally fine. Like I'm only like I'm along for the ride, but I'm not deep in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I get burnt out on most. I mean, everything though, even things I'm super into for a little while. I'm like, okay, this has been fun for a month. Time to get a new interest.
You think that that points towards deeper psychological issues that you're just not approaching right now?
I think issues might be
issues is probably a strong word.
I mean.
Aspects, I guess, deeper psychological aspects.
For sure. I mean, but everything we do is points to deeper psychological aspects, whether or not they're negative or have a bad impact on life.
I don't necessarily think it's I don't know. I feel like not having a long-term passion isn't necessarily a good thing.
Well, long-term passion for media products.
That's fair. That's very, very fair. I realized that came out like really like as if I was trying to get you, and I wasn't. It was an actual genuine.
Yeah, media properties don't hold weight for me for too long.
That's very fair. I don't know. There's a couple of shows or TV shows and stuff that I like started and then just nah. Usually because
I fizzle out on a lot of them.
Well, and like I think I've mentioned it a million times, but like a lot of it for me is just I just don't have enough time to like really, really keep up with a lot of things. Because like seriously, like let's just say, for example, right? If I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Game of Thrones, somebody give me something else that's on every week now.
I don't know. I've only been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine lately.
Honestly, same. So that makes my life difficult. That makes this metaphor difficult. Well, take it like 5 years back. Like, you know, you've got Breaking Bad, you've got Game of Thrones, you've got fucking goddamn. Wow. No, I'm wrong. There are more. Whatever. There are more. Point is, there are more. If I was watching more than 2 or 3 shows a week, like that's 4 hours out of my week, 5, maybe even 6, depending on how many things I'm watching. That like I have to devote to keeping up on these things. And if I don't, then that just adds on to the next week. And like, dude, I don't even spend that long like playing video games anymore, let alone watching like television. I mean, if I were going to spend 6 hours watching something, I would watch movies because that's like that's my industry. And like, that's the thing I should care about.
See, the only thing I've actually been keeping up with has been JoJo's Bizarre Adventure lately.
I have seen that you were posting a lot about that.
It is very, the arc they're on right now, or like the part is getting to a boiling point. So it's pretty exciting. There's like 12 episodes left and then it'll be done, which is kind of the nice thing about anime is a lot of times it'll run like a season, which is going to be like 12, 20 episodes, depending, sometimes like, 24. This JoJo part is actually like 37, and then when it's over, it'll be off the air. They won't have another one done for like a year and a half.
But Jackson, we're off the air. I'm sorry, I'll see myself out.
Yes, please leave.
But yeah, it's kind of nice because like part 4 came out in like 2016, and then part 5 came out like October of last year. So it gives you plenty of downtime to kind of like cool off and not like keep yourself burning too hot. That way when it's like in season, it's in season.
I wonder if that has to do with it. Like I wonder if more, because I'm trying to think what other, Westworld also did that. Like they took like a year off, and that I never did get around to seeing the second season of that. I really should. I really enjoyed the first season.
Game of Thrones did 2 years between seasons.
Which is why I don't know. I feel like that's oddly, I feel like that has the opposite effect of what you would expect. Like I feel like that 2 years by all rights should have made it less popular, but I feel like over that time it only became more popular.
Yeah, which is, I think it's because so many people had to catch up, and like so many people actually like had time to catch up and did, and we're like, whoa.
I almost wonder if like it wouldn't have been a better idea to wait like 1 more year for like Endgame or something, because then people have that entire extra year to catch up on like all the movies and stuff.
I think for that it would be too much, because like I think people would just get mad and stop caring. Because I mean, not to say that the Avengers movies aren't deeply moving, but I think people are a bit more attached to the characters in like Game of Thrones, where they've had 70 hours with them to develop characters. And, a lot of those hours are just dialogue. Like the show is very dialogue heavy, whereas the Marvel movies, not so much.
That's very fair.
Like, they do a lot of dialogue, but most of it's like plot relevant. Like we got to get the square that my brother took or whatever. And then we
that's how it works. You got it.
Robot ships. I think I watched the first 20 minutes of Avengers 1.
I can tell. You almost had something there. You almost started describing an actual movie there.
Loki takes the cube, and then in Age of Ultron, I think Evan Peters is there.
Sure.
Is Evan Peters there?
I don't know who that is, but sure.
I'm not sure. He
was
might
in like
be.
American Horror Story. I think he's like the Flash or whatever.
I think he is.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, he's
and then
Quicksilver.
there's like an Australian dude who sells Ultron meth.
Yeah. Andy Serkis.
Can we please?
Dude, it is Andy Serkis.
Can we please at like now that Endgame is over, next week can we sit down and just let Jackson describe how he thinks all the Marvel movies went?
We could do a bonus episode of that.
I would sit for I would get you drunk. I would genuinely sit down for an hour and just listen to you try to describe movies that you have never seen and have no interest in.
I have seen Thor. Thor 2: The Dark World.
Bad choice. Tell me you saw Ragnarok at least to redeem that series. Oh, Ragnarok is so good.
I know, I've heard it's really good, and
Ragnarok
really
might be
Thor.
my favorite Marvel movie.
I've heard that fairly often as well.
Yeah,
but I kind of liked Thor. It was fun, very forgettable. Very forgettable. I have no idea what happened.
Thor 2 was...
Thor 2: The Dark World? Very bad.
It was no good.
It's like a 3 out of 10.
It is, I think, the second worst Marvel movie.
I have also seen Iron Man 2, but not Iron Man 1.
Okay.
That was on a cruise ship. And they were just like playing it. It was like 2 in the morning. And I was like, well, everything's closed. I guess I was just chill in my cabin and watch Iron Man 2 twice.
I really just want, like, I feel like we should get like the posters and like a Google Doc of like the names of the movies, and then just let Jackson extrapolate what happens in the movie based on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down. We should probably stop this bit for now. Then that way we can
stop
save
this
it for
bit
a bonus
because
episode.
that's going to be a bonus content. Keep an eye out for that at some point, guys.
It'll be here eventually.
Like everything else we do.
Also, in recent news, I am moving tomorrow morning.
Hey, look at you.
Yeah. So tomorrow, bright and early, I'll be putting all my stuff into the like moving facility box thing that they're going to ship to my house.
Is it like an entire giant like is it an actual truck or is it like what is it?
It's like a cube. It's like one of those like pod type things.
That like it's so like it'll go on like a train or something to get to.
Yeah, either they'll probably like, put it on a train or like a semi with a whole bunch of other ones.
Okay, that's really cool. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's a little bit cheaper than a U-Haul truck. Plus, I wanted to like tow my car.
Yeah.
So I'm leaving tomorrow morning.
Dude, congratulations.
Which will be fun because you guys have had to endure my cat for a few hours. Now I'm going to have to do that for 21 hours with her in a cage in my backseat.
Oh, I'm sure she's going to be so happy.
She'll be ecstatic.
She'll be so excited.
Nice.
Fucking hour fucking 12. Jackson's just going to start like talking back to the cat in meows.
I already do that.
I was going to say, talking back to the cat, he does that right now, but...
No, but
yeah, I just hope that she'll stop after a couple hours, but I know that she won't.
She won't, dude. She won't until she falls asleep.
There's got to be a boiling point, right? Like, 21 hours. What hour would a creature have to stop making sound?
Is it unethical to put her to sleep for that time?
To like put her down?
No.
Yeah, because putting her to sleep is not what you
I can't think of the right word.
Sedate.
To sedate her for that time?
Well, I'll see if I can't buy some ketamine from some of my friends.
I feel like more like ketamine, am I right?
Personally, no.
Ketamine already has a cat tranquilizer. Cat and horse. Any kind of animal.
That would be what I would be worried about is the absurd strength of a horse tranquilizer on a cat.
I feel like this is the thing you should go to a vet for.
They'll use ketamine at the vet.
Yeah, but like they'll know the correct dosage.
Well, microdose.
That
give my cat small amounts of ketamine.
Microdose isn't a unit of measurement, fam.
Look, you don't microdose acid so you can finally meet God. You're a coward.
Speaking of finally meeting God.
Ooh.
Easter was last week.
I was going to talk about the Philly furnace party.
Oh, I didn't get to go. I was so mad. I was so angry. I was working.
Yeah. The guy who like dictated the letters was there. Dude's crazy.
No shit.
Weird.
Who would have thought?
Like I'm listening to him and one of his like disciples, and it kind of sounds like he's blending Jewish and like Christian theology all together to make like a new religion type of thing. And
to be fair,
they're already pretty similar. Is that what you were about to say?
I was gonna say, didn't Christianity just kind of blend Jewish theology with Jesus?
Well,
more, I mean, in his,
But yeah, I listened to an interview that he talked a little bit. I watched a lot of stuff, and he seems a little out there. But it looks like everyone had a fantastic time. It was like a good, wholesome party where everyone just drank beer and danced.
Aren't they going to be murdered?
No.
Nah, man.
No murders happened.
It was just a straight up party.
Going to be? Isn't that like the goal?
Well, no, that was...
Isn't that the end game?
No, the furnace was symbolic. It wasn't a real furnace. It was the furnace of our hearts.
What about all the food you ate since first grade?
That's still inside you.
It is still
get rid of it then.
It's alive inside you even.
What do we do? I thought we were gonna burn it out in the furnace.
I'm so proud. I'm looking at the subreddit now, and like I'm just proud of people not like.
No one made a mess of it. They came. They had a good time. They cleaned up after themselves.
Yeah, this is the best I think Philly has ever done. Good job, Philadelphia.
Philly. Aren't you the city that had to grease light poles?
I'm so rarely proud of my city, but you know what? Good on them.
Good on you, Philly. Speaking of cities that are oftentimes gross, I spent the last week in New Orleans.
Oh, nice.
Something rising sun.
Thank you, Noah. Rising sun. We can sing that whole song on the podcast because it's royalty free.
I always forget that song is royalty free, and that makes me happy because that song is, that song is good.
Yeah, so you go ahead and sing it.
I'm not going to because
you
don't pay me for that, and you'd have to. You would want me to stop real bad.
Twitter we have 0 followers after that.
I mean,
a whole bunch of angry DMs like, why'd you let Dan sing for 5 minutes uninterrupted?
We'd have so many 0 more than we have.
Damn, dude.
But no, how was New Orleans?
It was a lot of fun.
Why did you say,
I was gonna say something, and then I was like, you know what?
You started leading into like New Orleans, but then you said New Orleans
because that's how the song pronounces it.
The animals ones, like there's a house in New Orleans.
The one I recognize most like readily is in New Orleans. I'd have to go back and re-listen.
It's one of those things I'm not gonna, it doesn't really matter.
There's no hill to die on here.
Yeah, that's Celine's cousin. Celine Dion, if you will.
Dion, yes, Celine Dion.
Yes. It's a weird pronunciation, but
it's a weird Celine to die on, but okay.
Hilda is French Canadian, so they pronounce things slightly differently over there in Quebec. Okay, New Orleans. Speaking of French things, it was a good time. It was really cool. It's a nice city. There are things that happen there.
Nice. Is that a good thing?
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a lot of fun. It's really pretty. Very old. It's 300 years old this year.
Really?
Yeah. So it's actually, it's older than the U.S., which is neat. It's got a lot of history. There's a lot of haunted stuff and the haunted tours. I didn't really do any of those because being around New Orleans at night is haunted enough.
Mm-hmm.
It is a pretty sketchy city because you got the tourists coming in and being like, New Orleans, there's no rules, right? And then doing crazy criminal things.
Your classic
and then
trashy tourists.
Oh yeah, and then because there are tens of thousands of tourists there at all times, it's hard to track them down, and there's a lot of unsolved crimes that go down.
Mm-hmm.
Also, not a lot of police presence in the city itself, and I don't blame them because it's very narrow streets, very crowded streets. It'd be really hard to be up in there trying to find a criminal because you'd be finding everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. I was staying with McCain, who is a podcast stan, I believe, as we have said before.
Yeah, I believe that's the term we decided on.
Yeah.
We gotta have a better name for that. I don't like that.
Okay, Stan? You don't like Stan?
Of all the things you say, that's what you're going to get caught up on?
We do need to... can we call them airheads?
I actually don't mind that. That's solid. Except for being copywritten.
Is it?
Yeah, but no way the airhead is...
no way Airhead is ever going to listen to this. No way we're ever going to get big enough that Airheads is ever going to find out, or that the Adult Swim show off the air is ever going to find out about it.
You keep talking about that like it's actually going to be a problem, but we are very clearly different.
It's very clearly different, and I know it's fine. I just find it hysterical. Now when I actually just find it funny as all
different than a strange pseudo taffy. How would you guys describe Airheads?
It is pseudo taffy. Yeah, no, that's a good way to call it.
Plastic taffy.
I don't mind Airheads.
They're so bad. Okay. Going different angles there. I do not like them. They are way too gummy.
They are better than Laffy Taffy.
Not true.
Laffy Taffy is.
But I don't like Laffy Taffy.
Laffy Taffy is even more plastic, though.
Yes. Laffy Taffy is maximum plastic.
Sugary.
That is fair, but it gets ruined. I remember as a kid getting Laffy Taffy as on my way out of a building or whatever and being like, oh well, I'm just gonna throw this out. I don't even want it.
Even the banana one?
No, banana one's the worst one.
You are motherfucker.
What?
Banana one was the worst one. It didn't taste like banana. It tasted like
fuck you guys.
Broken dreams and sorrow.
Fuck this podcast.
What? No.
Stop listening. If you listen to the podcast, stop listening. Thank you, Noah. You can keep listening to the podcast, guys.
My issue is that anything that wasn't banana tasted like popsicle stick and flavor.
That is true.
See, that's how I felt about banana.
Strawberry. Because I actually can't think of a Laffy Taffy flavor other than strawberry or banana.
They had a blue one, I think.
Strawberry, banana, cherry. There was blue raspberry.
Of course, there was blue raspberry.
And then there was mystery flavor, which was pineapple.
I like pineapple flavors. I just don't like that one.
What happened to blue raspberry, guys? I feel like it had a dynasty.
I mean, it's still around.
It's still around, but it's mostly only in slushy form anymore.
I was gonna say,
exactly.
I work at a place that sells blue raspberry slushies, so.
Yeah, but when we were kids, though, do you guys remember blue raspberry everything?
That's because it's only an okay flavor. Hot take.
I mean, I agree. I think it was overrated, but it was the king of flavors.
It was cherry and blue raspberry were the flavors, or strawberry and blue raspberry even. Either one.
Yeah, there was a red and a blue, basically.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of glad that it's gone. It's not gone. I'm kind of glad that it has waned. Its power is no longer like it was.
It's fueled by belief. The fewer people believe in it, the weaker it gets.
Absolutely true. Blue raspberry is entirely fueled by the hopes and dreams of the people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now that we have no more hopes, no more dreams, now we got no more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do we do now? Whatever it takes. Guys, I have seen the ad for Endgame about 40 times today.
How?
On Hulu.
Oh, because you're watching Hulu. That'll do it.
Yeah, and it's just... Hey, Google, what do we do now? whatever it takes.
For that, you'll need to unlock.
Don't ever talk to me again, phone.
Alexa, what do we do now?
But yeah, every time in one of the Hulu ads, it's like, okay, Google,
Okay,
what do we
cool.
do now? And then Google's like,
Oh my god!
whatever
Oh my
you have
god!
to do.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god!
shut the fuck
Oh my
up,
God.
Google.
I just asked her what do we do now, and she started describing what do was, describing it as feces, excrement.
Nice.
And I'm
Oh.
like,
You're telling me
It didn't go
Alexa
for like
knows
do
about
like
poop?
water.
nope, apparently not.
or do like the acting verb?
Apparently not.
You're telling me Alexa'd be really a freak out there. Speaking of really being a freak out there, saw my favorite Easter meme of all time.
Ooh. Gonna share with the class?
Oh, absolutely. Because Easter was last week. Well,
you guys get
not
some
like
good- do you
last
guys-
week, but it was,
Do you guys still
a
get
week
Easter
ago.
candy? Is that still like, as adults, do you guys still get Easter candy?
My mom got me an Easter basket.
My parents did too.
My
And my mom
parents
was
did
like,
not this year.
Oh, buddy.
Here's
Usually
I
they
got,
would,
like, a handful
but
of candy.
since everyone's moved out, not even my sister got Easter candy this year, and she's
Wow,
still
that's
home.
messed up. Oh, Edge.
Sucks to be her.
I'm sorry, Edge.
Edge, if you're listening, when I come back to town, I'll buy you like an Easter candy.
Edge,
Just
if
like
you're
one.
listening, I'm gonna tell you a secret. You have a job now. You can go on the internet and just buy candy
Well, that's not the issue. It's
why
the
go on
sentiment
the
of the candy being
internet?
given.
because you can get
Yeah, why
bulk
would-
candy at cheaper prices than if you go out to like a candy store.
But the problem with like that is no one buys themselves candy. At least not on the level that you get for Easter.
Yeah.
And if you buy yourself candy, I will think even less of you.
I wanted genuinely every year around Easter. I end up walking home at some point throughout the time with like a dozen bags of jelly beans.
You are a child.
Dude, jelly beans are the best candy. Don't at me. Let me phrase that. I won't even say they're the best. They're my best.
Starburst jelly beans? Are pretty
Starburst
fire.
jelly beans are fucking great. Jolly Rancher jelly beans are pretty good. I've been having Nerds jelly beans, which are pretty solid. This is now Dan's jelly bean corner. You know what jelly beans aren't good? Those motherfucking like shitty spiced jelly beans. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I disagree. The licorice ones?
Licorice is.
I love
I've
black
established
licorice.
that I hate black licorice though. So that
I'm gonna eat
tracks.
a black jelly bean.
That's
I'm gonna
racist.
Hoover that shit.
Wait, no, I'm the racist because I won't eat a black jelly bean. Fuck.
I would crush up and snort black jelly beans.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of licorice or black licorice. I'm fine with regular licorice, but yeah.
Black
So
licorice is regular licorice.
red licorice is
That's
the
not.
superior licorice.
Yeah, I mean, if you're 7,
Yeah. Okay.
which we've established,
We just got over me being
you
a child.
are a
It's fine.
We did not get over it, but we mentioned it.
I have a nasty sweet tooth. It actually is a problem, and I'm trying to cut way the hell back on it. Which didn't help that my family brought me candy when they came down. But I actually I'll get into that in a sec. Jackson, what is your Easter meme that you were very excited by?
So it says, my man Jesus came back from the dead after 3 days, and he was like, "All right, folks, you check me out. Here's my hands. There's proof." And then Thomas, who was a known freak, was like, "Hey, let us see them feet too."
I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
I see as a kid, right? So they describe it as being, I can't remember what the Bible specifically says about it. Is it, God, one of you guys is going to have to answer it. Is it that he shows him the scars? Because I, as a kid, always thought of it as he showed him like the holes that had healed over.
Wait. For
Like
what?
when they're
When Jesus comes back, and Thomas wanted to like straight up poke the thing.
yeah, I literally I always think of it as like, oh, there's literal holes straight through his hands that are just chilling there.
Kind of that's what I thought as well.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
I on the same page.
Okay,
'Cause it's been 3 days.
it's been 3 days.
It's still a physical body.
Yeah, exactly. You got to assume that like it stopped bleeding. It probably didn't heal over properly, but we'll just like when he came back, whatever, healed over, fine. I mean, theoretically, it would have been scar. Like logically, right? It would be scars, not like because that's like the nails weren't that big. Like it would it would still scar over.
But you were hanging by him.
But well, that's the thing. Yeah, is he was hanging about it, so he had to like
And
I
the
don't know.
nails were that big. What do you
Yeah,
mean
I mean,
they're not
they're-
that big?
They were like road spikes
They
up
were
in
like
those.
they were like an inch across, right?
That's huge.
That's pretty big for a hole in your body.
Yeah, that's
That
gigantic.
does not
Yeah, that's
heal
fair.
in days.
weren't
Also,
that
I just want to take a moment to just say, like, my man Thomas, I'm sorry, because like, just think about it.
He asked a question.
The dude spends his life in service to Christ, and then Christ comes back and he's like, "Hold up, guys. Maybe we should ask a question. Maybe inquire a little bit." And everyone's like, "Fucking doubting Thomas." He's like, "Hey, come on." It's not like Christ was like, "Hey, actually, here's proof," and Thomas was like, "All right, you're cool. I'm sorry."
Yeah, no,
It's not like he never believed. He just asked a question.
Yeah, and it's not like he was like, "Oh, I don't believe until you whatever." He was literally just like, "Let me see them feet, though."
That's not what happened.
That's how it went. Yep.
I like the idea of the Quentin Tarantino.
No, I appreciate it, but he definitely is like, well, guys, hold up 1 second. We just saw this man die.
Yeah, because we got doubting Thomas, Saint Peter who denied Jesus 3 times,
Judas
in the same night.
Motherfucking Judas.
There was actually 2 Judases.
I remember that. I don't remember why.
That
I
was
know,
just
why
really
I heard that before.
unlucky, but it's a very common name back then. I mean, Judas, Juden,
Judeo.
Someone who's Jewish. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also saw someone tweet recently like, Jesus lived thousands of years ago, and you're telling me he really found dudes out there named Matthew and Mark? I'm like, dude, you don't understand anything. It's not like Matthew and Mark were like retconned names. They're only names that exist still because of Jesus' disciples.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
The thing that makes me mad about that the most is when people are like, those names were translated. It's like, oh, no, they weren't, because like, look at some of these other names they didn't translate out there. Freaking Abimelech.
Don't ever talk to me about Abimelech.
Bathsheba.
There was Ananias and Sapphira.
Oh, yo, Ananias and Sapphira was a fucking trip. I fucking love that story. That's
straight up like, if you were to tell me that I was reading like a fantasy book and there were 2 elves or dragons named Ananias and Sapphira.
Sapphira
is
literally the name of the dragon in the Aragon series.
That's why it sprung to me.
Yeah. I think it's spelled differently, but it's pronounced Sapphira, I think, rather than Sapphira, but still.
It depends on who's reading it.
Exactly.
But yeah. I would agree, Sapphira.
So I love
go ahead.
Bible names.
Bible names
You're
are wild.
telling me Belteshazzar?
Balthazar?
No one's talking about my man. We got
Thelonious
Malachi.
Monk?
You got a whole book. Who?
Thelonious Monk. It's a jazz group.
Yeah. But also, if you were to tell me that Thelonious was a name, I'd be like, you know what?
He's in Shrek.
Well,
He's the executioner in Shrek.
I've always been a huge fan of God, we gotta do that bonus episode too at some point.
Shadrach, Meshach,
and Abednego.
And motherfucking Abednego?
I fucking love that.
You're giving me Abednego? It's like Shadrach, Meshach. We're like, all right, got it.
All I can think of is
acts going on.
There's a really great VeggieTales bit about that where he's like, oh yes, Shadrach, Meshach, and what was your name again? Abednego. I'm Benny.
It's Ben. Dude.
It's a good bit. It's a good bit, and I appreciate it. I'm always a fan. I'm always a fan of trying to say a word and then giving up and saying an easier word. It is a very good thing. Porky Pig knew what was up. That's all I'm saying.
That's all, folks. Is that what you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think he was trying to say anything different.
No, I mean,
he just said it. It just took a while.
That like the thing, like it is Porky. Yeah, Porky is the right one. Yeah, no, but like when he appears in like cartoons and stuff, like that is
I think that sounds right. I'm not sure that's right, but it sounds right.
Because there's one where he's he's about to say son of a bitch. It sounds like he's about to say son of a bitch, and then like stops himself and says like something totally different.
I thought he actually did say son of a bitch.
He does. A second later, he's like son of a. Oh, you thought I was gonna say son of a bitch, didn't you? Or whatever his fucking laugh is.
Are you sure this wasn't just Family Guy? Because there's no way he said that in a Looney Tunes thing.
I think he did. It was the 20s, man.
Son
Things were different.
of a bitch, Looney Tunes. Let's go.
Big doubt.
Porky Pig says son of a bitch.
Damn, dude, I can't believe he says that. All right, so let's talk more about New Orleans, because I feel like I only glazed over the 300-year-old city.
Put that audio clip in.
Everybody stop talking. Actually, Noah can just splice our audio, so it doesn't really matter. But no, put that audio clip in, and also put the Eminem.
There. Also, we live in a society. No, put that up too.
Oh, son of a gun. You thought I was going to say son of a bitch, didn't you?
This clip makes me so angry. I did not believe this existed.
So, you guys, this has been a crazy week for me. So I gotta tell you guys a story. And by a story,
That's
I
fine,
mean
yeah. I
bad
wasn't in
news.
one of the oldest cities in America for a week.
Today's kind of sucked, or this week has kind of sucked. So I had my family in town, which is always an adventure. It was actually very nice of them. They came down because I was showing my senior thesis, and that went fine. That whole event was a whole thing. My family came down. A bunch of my friends actually. Shout out to Dave and Brian and the rest of the guys hanging out in the game room, because they did not have to show up, and they did to be supportive, and like that warmed the cold depths of my heart. But that same day, I had to make the executive decision of dropping out of the LA program, which I think I've mentioned on the podcast before, but has been like one of those things that I've been looking forward to for like 4.5 years. Mm-hmm. And I had to drop out of it because it would have put me $10,000 further in debt, which is a good reason to not do it. But yeah, so that, I mean, on the bright side, that does mean I'm sticking around in Philadelphia. That means I'm going to theoretically have a little more time over the summer, yada, 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 yada. But it really, really fucking blows. I was not doing great earlier this week. Doing a little better now. Doing a little better today because it has been almost a full week. But yeah, so yeah, that's a thing that happened.
Dang.
That does sound pretty shitty. Because you've been talking quite a bit about that. But if it's in your best interest, it's in your best interest.
See, here's the thing is that like there's a part of me that's still like, but what if I just did it anyway? But like, dude, $10,000 is a lot of fun. That would double my college debt. That would more than double my college debt.
That's more money than I have in liquid assets right now.
That's more money than I have in any kind of asset.
Fair enough.
Unless I start selling off pieces of my body, which
I bought a lot of silver when I was younger.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Look at you. I assume silver rise in value over time.
Tiny bit.
I mean,
it's one of those,
safe way to hide money.
Not as much as like gold, but
even then, like it can't be that genius of a thing to be buying precious metals, right?
I mean, I feel like nah.
Because it's like, if the U.S. economy collapses, your pile of gold underneath your mattress is not going to save you.
I don't know, man. You gotta like try and figure out how to get that out of the country.
Well, and even further still, if like, the whole world collapses in a post-apocalypse, people aren't going to be like, hey, give me that gold bullion.
I always appreciate when post-apocalyptic settings use like something like cigarettes as like a currency, because I feel like that actually, because if I'm remembering correctly, that is like a very common currency in like the prison system and stuff like that.
That is absolutely correct.
I'm sorry, you sounded so out of touch there, but yes,
I believe perhaps
I'm not gonna because I knew you guys, if I was wrong, you guys would call me on it, and so I was like, I think this is correct, but I'm asterisking it with I'm not 100% sure, because I don't know, I don't go to prison or hang out with a bunch of people who went to prison.
Weird.
Whack. I know. Well, because in Philadelphia, when you go to prison, you don't get back out. Or if you do get back out, you only get back out for a little bit, and then you go back because the system has fucked your life up so bad that the only way you can make any money or make any kind of living is returning to crime, and then inevitably you get caught, go back into the system, and it's a vicious cycle. And the reason that hundreds of thousands of people don't have family members in their lives anymore because they're just trapped by the prison system. It's
that's what I'm saying, man. It should it shouldn't be a political issue to be like, prisoners should or shouldn't be able to vote, because if there's enough people incarcerated in your country that their ability to vote makes a difference in your election,
we have a bigger problem. Yeah.
And not saying that's happening.
It is 100%
it's a hot
happening.
ticket issue.
It is weird. I don't know why that's like is there a reason that came back up recently? Because I know it did. I remember this being a thing.
Bernie Sanders tweeted it out or something.
And like,
so all the 17-year-olds were like, oh, an issue I finally heard about.
I don't know.
Which is good, because staying politically active is always a good idea, as long as you don't let it consume your life.
Well,
or watch PragerU videos. If you watch PragerU videos, you're the worst kind of person.
Or start acting like you're better than other people because of the amount of time you put into your political research. Like,
unless you are better than other people.
It's a strong possibility.
It is a strong possibility, but also like, don't be a tool about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that. Is that a hot take?
Why is Tool? Not really. Why is Tool not like on Spotify? Isn't that weird?
Who?
Tool,
yeah,
the band?
It's a band.
Who?
Don't keep saying who. You're not going to get your answer quicker.
No, I mean like the Who, like the band.
Yes, that is another band.
It's not the bit you were doing, and I know it's
it
not.
Is now.
Tool is James Maynard Keenan's main project. He's an obnoxiously good singer. Tool does a lot of very out there music. It's very intricate, very involved, and the the level that you have to perform at to be able to play what he wants is astounding.
That sounds at
Why'd you
least
audition for
vaguely
Tool?
interested. You should give me a link to something of his, because that actually sounds like something that I would at least vaguely be interested in. If nothing else, in the impressiveness of the effort that has to go into it.
Yeah, they're not on Spotify.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying. It makes it much less convenient to ever listen to Tool. Because I'm not going to lie to you, I do it exclusively through YouTube.
That's pretty much the only I don't think they're on Tidal either. I don't think he likes streaming services.
Unless I'm looking at a very different...
Are you talking about Spotify? Because there is a group called Tool on Spotify, but they are not the same thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, things do always change. I'm going to look it up right now. Because I know Taylor Swift wasn't on Spotify for years, and all of a sudden she is.
Oh, it's because they don't. They have. It looks like, if I'm reading this correctly, if the Google link is going to the correct location, it looks like they appear on some albums, and then they have a single.
No, there is a
That's
DJ.
a different one?
There is
Got
a
it.
DJ
That makes sense.
of some sort that calls himself that.
There is a playlist called Tool that I clicked on by Gordon Thomas.
And there is no
Gordon,
Tool
if you're
in
listening
it.
to this, fuck you. First song, I'm So Sick by Flyleaf. This is like an entire album of just Flyleaf, Shine Down, Paramore, Stone Sour.
So it's a playlist for Tools.
3 Days Grace, A Perfect Circle. I'm not naming any of the bands that I actually like, so that way I don't have to look bad.
Yeah,
Atreyu.
It annoys me because I'll find stuff like that all the time when there's like a specific song I'm looking for, and it's not there.
And it'll be the name of someone's playlist, so they can get you to click on it.
Makes me mad.
It's actually not called A Little Bit of Monica. It's called Mambo Number 5, Idiot. And so then you click on someone's playlist, and you're like, this doesn't even have Mambo Number 5 in it. That is the worst.
I see the thing I always struggle to find on Spotify that is always like. So I listen to a lot of like soundtracks, like that's just a thing that I do because it's like what like my go-to for just having background music on. And there are so few like really good big name soundtracks on Spotify. Like the fact that Spider-Verse is on Spotify is a fucking miracle.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know,
do a lot of the playlist type thing.
What?
The soundtracks, if you try and like find a movie soundtrack on Spotify, like 9 times out of 10, you're just gonna get someone who made a playlist.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing is that sometimes that's great because sometimes I guess a movie soundtrack is just like other people's songs put into a soundtrack. But a lot of the times, like especially on like now I'm gonna double check before I say this.
Go ahead and say it.
Say it.
No, because I'm not gonna be called a liar.
I'm gonna call you a liar anyway.
Rude. So like with the exception of Howard Shore, who has a lot of his stuff on there for like Lord of the Rings and stuff, a lot of like instrumental soundtracks and stuff like that don't exist on Spotify. And a lot of them I've found, especially for like if you're like trying to watch for like TV shows and stuff like that, don't exist at all. Like they just, which blows my mind because for me, like that's.
I can say why part of that is, but say what you were saying first.
It blows my mind because it's so important to like every piece of everything that exists. And I do know why some of it is. Some of it is because the musician retains the rights to album it, because that's one of the only buying pieces they have when negotiating rates.
That's one of the reasons that Malcolm in the Middle never was released past the first season.
Really?
And it only streamed. Yeah, because they could get streaming rights to everything, and they could get rights to have it on TV, but they could not get the rights to have the music in the TV show when they distributed it on DVD. So
that's
it never.
So fascinating.
So yeah, it no longer exists beyond what is being syndicated.
You know why that would? You know how you could make that not a problem? Pay your goddamn musicians.
Yeah,
enough
you know what?
Like,
that would help.
Hot spicy take. You should, if someone does the job for you and you want to buy the rights to their stuff, you should be able to buy the rights to their shit.
Yeah, I agree to disagree. I think you should exclusively not pay anyone who's doing you a service.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I have
whenever possible.
Pay everyone else, but not the people that work for you.
I see you've been involved with student films before. Exactly.
Yeah. Just not only don't pay your students, but also beg your students after they've graduated to give you money.
Also, don't feed them. And in fact, if you, oh God, I'm actually angry, and I'm not going to call anybody out because it happens. I was supposed to be on set yesterday morning, first thing in the morning. I took off work for it. I took off work yesterday and today because I'm like, okay, I got homework and I got to be on set, so I got to make sure I have plenty of free fucking time. Motherfuckers, they were up to Thursday. Like, yeah, we're definitely doing it Saturday. Definitely doing it Saturday. I tried to get in contact with them all day Thursday, all day Friday. Nothing. They ghosted me. And I'm like,
ghosted you.
And I'm like, guys,
Danny Phantom up in this.
The amount of people that have ghosted me for projects lately is infuriating because I don't get it, because it's so easy just to say, hey, sorry for wasting your time. Other stuff happened, yada, yada. Bullshit. I don't care if you lie to me. I don't care if you tell me that the project is no longer getting done. I don't care if you tell me that, hey, we got to put the project on hold. I don't care if you tell me, hey, we found somebody else who's going to get paid less. I don't care. But don't get me to the point where I am taking a day off work, 2 days off work now, but taking a day off work and then just don't fucking respond to me. Like, how fucking dare you? The absolute nerve.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so easy just to fucking explain the situation and not do something. But I get very angry about this. This is a thing that this happened this entire past like half a year has been nothing but people like saying they're going to do a thing and then just completely disappearing on me.
Speaking of completely disappearing,
we're about to completely disappear because that's the end of the episode. Boom, got it.
That's not at all.
David,
I am about to completely disappear from Texas, and it's kind of exciting. But I do have one last Texan beer corner to do.
Yes,
That's
I was
right.
going to ask at the beginning of the episode.
That's right. It's Jackson's beer corner, and today we're not even doing a Texas beer. In fact, we're not even doing a beer I have on me right now.
Oh,
but we might be doing my. This isn't like a might in that it's like a. I don't know if it is, but I would say it is definitely my favorite beer of all time.
Mm-hmm.
That I had one time last year and I thought did not exist anymore. I thought it was an experimental batch, and it was.
Mm-hmm.
But no more. It is officially released. It is by the company that makes Purple Haze, Abita Brewing.
I do love Abita Brewing.
You may remember that from the only episode we all had the beer for.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I had to put my birth year in here. Are you kidding me? Okay. I'm going on their website, and that was weird. Okay, so what is this? This isn't even their website. This is someone who just used the same name and tried to get me to click on their website. Man, it's hard. All right, so I went to why is the internet bad? I went to Abita Brewery, the actual brewery, when I was in New Orleans, because it's on the North Shore, not very far away from where McCain lives. So the one day he was at work, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take off and go look at the brewery. I was gonna do a tour, but I arrived at like 5:45, and they did the last tour at 6.
Oof.
So I was unable to do a tour, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But I was able to, peer the bar and tap room menu, and I found the single greatest gift I had ever gotten in my life. Okay, so a little bit of context. Last year I went to New Orleans in April, pretty much the same time of the year, and they, when I was at the Abita tap room, I went with McCain, and they had this 5-gallon batches that they make of beers.
Yeah.
So like they'll make like 5 gallons of it and be like, here, we'll test people in the tap room, see how it goes, give it to our master brewers and whatnot, just kind of for fun. And if any of them turn out really good, we'll keep them. Mm-hmm. So I tried this one that didn't have a name at the time. It was an unnamed beer, and it was brewed with Earl Grey tea leaves and lemon.
Oh, that sounds so good.
And it was the best beer I'd ever had in my life. And I was so excited, but you can only get half pints of it, and they were limited to 2 half pints per person because it was such a small batch. And they had these little review cards you could fill out. So I got one, and I filled out all the stuff, and I was like, yo, this is the best beer I've ever had in my life. Please make this readily available as a beer. Mm-hmm. And gave it a 10 out of 10 on all the different subjects, and I was like, this is great. Sent it in, and then nothing for a year. I even looked into it and couldn't find it. But when I was in the tap room, I was looking through the menu, and one of them was called Subtlety. And I was like, that sounds promising. So I read the description, and what do you know? Subtlety is a blonde ale brewed with Earl Grey tea and lemons. It's fantastic. It is very, very tea heavy. If you do not like Earl Grey tea, you will not like the beer. But if you like Earl Grey tea, I got a beer for you.
So it's hard cider, but with tea instead of.
No, I wouldn't say that far. It just has a lot of tea flavor, but it's still definitely a beer. It's a golden ale, so that's fun. It's not a super common thing you see, but it's really easy. It's not very bitter. On their little scale of 1 to 100, it's a 15. So it is a not bitter at all beer.
It
It's
sounds
super good.
smooth.
I got a pint of it, and I was like, this is amazing. So then I got a growler of it, which is like a half gallon, brought it back, and drank like half of it before McCain even got back from work, and then we finished it. And then the next day on my way home, I stopped by the brewery again and got the growler refilled, and then brought it home and drank it all. It is fantastic, and you can get it in 6-packs, and there's actually a place in Erie that you're able to get it. So I am super excited because when I go up north, the first thing I'm going to do is go buy a beer from Louisiana.
Nice.
There's a place like 40 miles away from me in New Braunfels where I could get it, but I don't really want to drive
That's
that
too far away.
Yeah, whereas like the one in Erie is like 16 miles from my house, so not crazy, doable. So yeah, I'm very excited that this beer is readily available. It is a seasonal though, so it is March, April, May only.
Shoot, so we're right near the end of it.
We are right near the end of it, so we don't have long.
So if you want that beer, you gotta go out and get it right now.
If you like Earl Grey tea, you should definitely go get it.
And what's its name one more time,
it is
Jackson?
Subtle Tea. It is all one word, but on the bottle it appears as 2 words. So like subtle and then teeth, we're funny. I don't like the name, but I love the beer. I don't mind the name. I don't hate it. Yeah, so if you like that kind of stuff, try it. Funnily enough, Earl Grey tea, to me, the time in my life where I drank the most tea was playing bass at that church that we used to both play for.
Really?
Yeah, I remember drinking a lot of tea. And actually the person who turned me on to Earl Grey tea was your brother.
Figures. You know why we started drinking Earl Grey tea?
Why?
I want you to think of the nerdiest reason to drink tea. And if you can think of it, then good for you. And if not, I'm not surprised.
Was it an Anglophile reason? Was it Doctor Who?
It was not Doctor Who.
Was it Sherlock Holmes?
No. It was Star Trek.
Actually, you know what?
My next guess was Pink Floyd,
nope,
so
that tracks.
Yep. Captain Picard and the Next Generation drank tea Earl Grey hot. And because of that, Jeff and I drank tea Earl Grey hot for
That's pretty funny.
Huge chunk of our lives. I still enjoy a good Earl Grey.
I do love Earl Grey. Yeah, I remember it was Jeff who had initially coerced me into drinking Earl Grey. Because up until then, I was a big green tea boy. Big green tea and herbal tea. And then
I'm sure you were a huge fan of Arizona tea, as were like many people there.
Oh, who wasn't?
Exactly.
But the thing is, I like Arizona tea. I don't like Arizona watermelon.
No, Arizona.
Fuck out of here with that. That's not tea. It's just juice. It's bad juice.
The only alternate tea flavor they have that I like is their raspberry tea, and that's because the raspberry tea tastes like it's a freaking raspberry.
I like their green tea.
Taste like schnozberries.
And their schnozberries. And I like their green tea, and I think I had like their sweet tea once or twice and wasn't a huge fan, but their green tea was always my go-to.
Their lemon tea was okay too.
I maybe tried it. I remember peace tea was kind of a big one for a little while.
It was, but it was mostly a big thing with the freaking like hippies that we had.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Nothing against hippies, but they're so frustrating.
Libcucks.
I don't like that.
I'm allowed to say it.
I
have bad radical leftist political ideations. I'm allowed to call people libcucks.
I just hate the word
cuck.
It's true. I really hate it.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
People who are into that.
Unironically, stop saying it. And if you're into that, I mean,
listen, man, don't kink shame.
No, I'm gonna. It's one of those things where you're like, I don't like that thing someone's doing. And they're like, hey, man, it's none of your business what I do. I'm like, it's not, but I still said it. It's your job to make it none of your business, not my job to not say anything. If someone tells me, they're like, Jackson, I don't like the cut of your jib, you know what I say? I say, to heck with you. And then I proceed to continue Fortnite dancing in the subway.
You are the worst person.
Are you? Why would you say that? That sounds like the best thing ever.
Because, like, if I vocalize my distaste for something, it's, sure, it's kink shaming. But if you stop being a cuck because I told you it's a weird kink, that's on you.
That is fair.
You gotta stand up for your king.
Ooh, I feel like there's
In fact, I am
an
actually
argument
king-shamed
here. Hold
daily.
on, because I think there's something here. Because I feel like that is also the exact same argument that toxic players use when they're being toxic as fuck. Like that is a little bit of extrapolations, but like.
I mean, no, you're right. I find toxic players very annoying, but what I do is I just mute them and then keep playing the game.
I feel like there's a difference.
They're not going to stop
here.
you from being toxic.
I mean, I am significantly less toxic than I was before. I actively am trying to reduce it because here's the thing. I
wasn't even talking to you. I was talking to Jackson.
Oh, that you're talking to me.
Because he just mutes them so he can be as toxic as he wants without paying attention to them.
God damn it, you're the worst.
Well, yeah, usually if someone's toxic in a game with me, I'll just mute them. And what I'm saying is more towards like
lifestyle choices.
Yeah, and towards strangers for the most part, or acquaintances.
That's fair.
And usually not meant in a way to cause irreparable harm or to hurt someone. Mm-hmm. Just be like, that's kind of weird. Not saying like you're a fucking freak, but like just be like, I don't like that.
Unless you're a furry, in which case, stop being a furry.
You're a fucking freak.
Someday I'm going to back off on that joke.
Sooner than later, I'm hoping.
When you come out of the furry closet.
Listen, once we hit that, I'm going to add that to the Patreon. Once we hit $100, I will pull way back on that joke.
Yeah, $100 is a bit much.
What is the?
We're gonna get a picture of your persona at $100.
Yeah, that's
we can have you back off
once
the
we
furry
get that,
jokes
then I'll
way
have
sooner.
to shut my goddamn mouth.
It's true because then every time you talk about furry, you want to put it on the screen.
Exactly.
Just like the Miley Cyrus Eminem.
I won't lie to you. I really want them. I want whoever we get to do this to draw it and then just shitty Photoshop my face onto it.
Oh, don't worry, it'll be there.
Okay, thank God, because that's hysterical to me.
If they don't do it, I will.
So, that's a beer corner for you. Subtlety by Abita Springs, or by just Abita Brewing. It's in Abita Springs, Louisiana. If you're ever in the area, like near New Orleans, it is probably like 45 minutes away from the city because it's on the North Shore, so you have to drive across the causeway. But I would heavily recommend making the trip. Even if you just like sit in the tap room. It's a beautiful tap room. It's like such a cool little like patio they got going on. They got a little fountain. It's really pretty. And, there's a lot of other things to see around the Abita Springs, Covington, and Mandeville area. It's very much like a small, quaint town on the North Shore of Lake Pontchartrain. You can see the lake, and you can watch cars go by on the causeway, and you can catch some gators and get some food. I would recommend checking out that part of the city if you're ever in town. Subtlety. Yeah, no, that's a beer I definitely want to attain more of as soon as possible.
Are you gonna grab some on your way up?
If I can find any place that sells it along my route, then yes.
Why not? Where you said it already, but I totally misheard, or well, I ignored you. I won't even say I misheard it. I didn't hear it. Where is it based out of?
Louisiana. Yeah,
so I mean, you could make that stop on your way up.
Louisiana is 8 hours south of where I live.
Yeah, but like come across and then up.
Yeah, I had to go directly south for a while.
Wait.
I would be going the opposite direction of Pennsylvania for about 6 hours.
Oh. I thought I must be
Texas.
Okay.
So northwest of Louisiana.
Well, it's just straight west.
Well, New Orleans is in the very bottom of Louisiana.
Yeah, but like, where is the... All right, I mean, that's fair.
I live in Central Texas.
Okay, that's fair. I was thinking... I was thinking like straight across like a line rather than like the actual logistics of one end of the state to the other. So I apologize.
It's all good. But yeah, no, it's not close to me.
I was thinking in terms of horizontal and ignoring the vertical. Along that corner of the state, or along that corner of the country, rather.
Speaking of ignoring things...
also, that's where I just was the last week.
Speaking of ignoring things, this is where we're going to wrap up the episode for the week.
Wait, Dan, did you not hear my entire thing about New Orleans?
I did. Yeah, no, I heard it.
Okay, because I was starting to wonder if maybe you just like tone me out until you're ready to make an argument with me.
I mean, that is usually what I do. But no, in this case, you're good. I got it.
All right.
It tracked. It just took a couple seconds for the synapses to actually fire from one side and then get all the way to the other side.
So Dan, where can we find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/BornRule and on Twitter at BornRule57, as well as on Instagram at BornRule57. I'm actually going to be streaming more now that that's one of the nice things about not going to LA is that ironically I'm going to have a whole lot more free time in about 2 weeks. This week is finals, and then after that I am back on the streaming game. I'm actually back on everything. I'm actually really excited. Noah's been starting to stream again, and I'm like, oh man, I miss it. I miss it a lot. So tune in and say hi or don't and whatever. No, where can they find you? Actually, no, Jackson, where can they find you? Because you asked me first, Noah.
Twitter mostly.
Cool. And you can find me on most sites as Bubbadabad, Bubbadabad. Especially on Twitch right now. I'm currently playing through all the Dragon Age games. I'm 3 sessions into Dragon Age 1 right now. Dragon Age Origins, I should say.
I like that the one time I tuned in was the time that you immediately died.
Yeah, no, my party is incredibly unbalanced right now because I'm playing a glass cannon mage who partners with another glass cannon mage that I need 2 attack tanks to soak up enough damage. We have no healers. It's a good time. But you know what?
I found the problem with your party.
I know, right? It's that I need a 3rd glass cannon mage.
You do. You should have 3 glass cannons and 1 tank that is just really fucking good at pulling aggro.
Exactly. Which is what I'm going to start working toward, you know. Mm-hmm. But yeah, tune in for those. I'm going to try and stream that as much as I can because I very much enjoy Dragon Age. But yeah, outside of that, you know, follow me on Twitter and stuff because I'm trying to be more active there as per the usual. Yeah, podcast-wise, you can find us on Facebook.com/OTA Podcast, Twitter.com/TheOffTheAir, and Patreon.com/OffTheAir. I just realized that I said them out of order of how I usually say it, and threw me off.
Yep.
Don't like that.
What? You can also find our YouTube down in the show notes. Go over there, give us that sweet sub action because we need to not have a bunch of numbers as our name.
I really don't like when you say give us that sweet anything. It makes me really uncomfortable.
Well, you know what? It's not for you, Noah. It's for them.
Get used to it, snowflake.
And if you'd like to support us in a non-monetary fashion, hit us up on iTunes, leave us a 5-star review and a nice
Google
comment
Play too.
Or a mean comment. You can't really review on Google Play though, can you?
I believe you can.
I don't know.
And make sure to use audibletrial.com/offtheair.
Indeed.
That was a weak plug.
Well, that's because I'm going on a 21-hour car trip, and I'm very likely not going to listen to an audiobook. So, you know,
you could fix
the
that.
The ethics don't check out.
That's fair. You know what? That's
Wait, how can I fix that, Dan?
You could go to Audible. No, you know what? It's the end of the episode. I'm not doing it. No, shut the ship down. Get us out of here.
Noah. Cancel the music.